KC Weather Lab. Here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back on this Thursday evening, or as I like to call it, the eve of Friday, as we head into the weekend. More summer weather, 3 long days of more summer heat and some afternoon storms. Then finally, drier, cooler air moving in. Not as cool as we were advertising earlier this week, but still it's a cool front. And we have not one, but maybe two in the 10-day forecast. We'll get to that in just a bit. First off, as we go outside, we have fair to partly cloudy skies, quarter moon, crescent moon setting in the western sky. Hopefully you got a chance to see that. And Jupiter, the star that's right nearby the moon. And tomorrow, the moon will lose a little distance between it and Jupiter. So look for it again tomorrow as we get close to that quarter moon. As we look across the area, generally quiet. Some showers, though. Moisture has moved into the state. It's been busier from central Louisiana on northward. We've seen some scattered showers over the last hour across portions of Rapides Parish up through Grant Parish, Dry Prong, maybe not so dry now with a nice little thunderstorm moving through there up in Grant Parish and then maybe heading toward Natchitoches. But locally, not a whole lot going on as we get closer to home. Just some ground clutter showing up elsewhere across the region. But as we open it on up, look at the big picture in the water vapor imagery. That ridge of high pressure that was dominant over here has shifted a little bit farther to the east and really put the heat on. In Raleigh, they hit 100 degrees today. Record heat across the east coast. We've been a little bit more moderate, more temperate, but also weak upper level low that's pushed into the southwestern Gulf of Mexico is beginning to shuttle some deeper moisture into the area. So with daytime heating tomorrow, we do expect some scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms. It looks like best rain chances will be later in the day. Meanwhile, in the tropics, everything's starting to quiet down for the most part. We have a fairly vigorous tropical wave coming off the African coast. If it were 3 or 4 weeks ago, we'd be watching it. If we didn't have Lorenzo upwelling cooler water here, we'd be watching it, but we don't think that's going to be a factor. And elsewhere in the tropics, it is quiet. We are watching broad low pressure right around the Yucatan, the Straits of Yucatan here, the Yucatan Channel, by the tip of the Yucatan, just north of Cancun. Very low chance of this developing, so we're not overly concerned with it. And if anything were to develop, it's going to be contained down here in the Bay of Campeche, as so often tropical systems are, especially when we have fronts coming in. Some area to keep an eye on, but right now we'll just keep an eye on it. Just very broad, weak low pressure down here. Here comes the front. Summertime until that front gets here. That front gets here. It looks like a little bit earlier now on Monday, and that means cooler air spilling in Monday night into Tuesday morning. Some nice days ahead. Tuesday afternoon, we'll get up into the lower 80s if we are lucky, and overnight lows. Well, the European model, along with the GFS model, not as boisterous on temperatures getting down, much cooler than the low to mid 60s. But this is the good news. Even though it starts to warm up, we have another front coming in, and that could set up for a very nice Festival's Acadiana weekend with highs perhaps in the 70s and lows then getting into the 50s. So we'll watch that. In the near term, though, just a few clouds, a little patchy fog by morning. Then tomorrow, it will be relatively quiet and hot through tomorrow afternoon. Latest model run is pointing to a little bit more shower activity down by the coast, but we'll go with about a 30-40% chance of afternoon and early evening showers and storms, maybe even through about this time tomorrow night. And then as we head into Saturday, we'll see a few afternoon storms, but otherwise just plain old hot out there with temperatures still in the lower 90s. Your 24-hour forecast, your rain chance to perk up mainly after about 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon through about 7 or 8. 93, 94 the projected high, and that heat index right near 100 again tomorrow. And as we head into Saturday and Sunday, still hot temperatures in the lower 90s, but then we dip down into the 80s and overnight lows get down into the 60s after Monday. Scattered showers Monday, no severe weather expected with that front. And then another front coming in, looks like next Friday. So we'll take two
keep
fronts.
them coming,
Let's
yeah.
double down on the fronts.
Thanks, Rob.